Welcome back to the Model Way podcast, where we talk about real events, real moments, and real successes. My name is Lenny Wheeler. I am your host. I just got back from Paris, and I tell you what, it was a lot going on there, and it was just absolutely amazing. I want to kick this thing off because we're going to talk about what it took and what people did there. It's going to be all about their confidence. It was the whole deal. Our show starts right now.
Just pick up the phone, but I can't help but feeling so lonely. Yeah. On a Friday night. Yeah. So and so.
Okay, so I really just arrived in Paris at that moment last week? And when I got there, and first of all, my trip was kind of tough going in because, I got delayed, I lost my baggage, and I had to get some things situated with the airlines, and we got that stuff sorted out. But I tell you what, it was a very nostalgic thing. We went over there and we actually stayed at the Hilton Opera in downtown Paris, in one of the neighborhoods of the older neighborhoods, with the architect. The architect was just absolutely phenomenal. I was just blown away when I went there. I hadn't been there since I was a kid, and when I showed up there, man, I tell you, I was in heaven. We get there and I get registered, and we get our models registered, and we get ready. So it's basically a whole week thing and a whole week process that really sums it up in 2 or 3 days, because really it's all about business. You go there and you're there to do go-sees. You're going in to see. Other agencies are actually taking their models and going there. I'm talking the cream of the crop, guys. And these people were coming from all over the world. I've seen models in Belgium. I've seen models from Finland. I've seen models from the United States. I've seen them from Germany. I've seen them from South Africa. They were just from everywhere. And I tell you what, they were the cream of the crop. And agents were actually looking for these kind of people. And a lot of them got callbacks, and it was just phenomenal the way they got through that whole thing. So basically all the agencies were sitting in one room, and they were all at their specific tables based on the agency that they were representing. And models actually got to go in. I think there was over 135 models and roughly around 35 to 38 agents. A few of them were on Zoom calls and things like that they got to see the models. And these agencies ranged from Milan, London, Paris. We had some from it was basically Europe, Tokyo, China. You just name it. It was just a classic scene that you just don't ever get to be able to step your foot in the door to places like that. So when you do get scouted to go to something like this, it's absolutely a special thing, because what better place than to have all these agents in one room? The hotel that we stayed at was absolutely beautiful. It was a classic. And I tell you what, I was looking at the place out there, and just the glamour, it reminded me of an old 1930s movie like you see on TV or something of that nature. And you get in there, and it's like a place where everybody should have their tuxedos on. I mean, it was just absolutely crazy cool. And, me not being able to speak French, I speak 2 languages. I speak Spanish and I speak English, but going in there to try to speak a few words in French, like bonjour, au revoir, things like that. That was really cool to be able to go in there and actually practice that a little bit. Even though I didn't get the pronunciation right, a lot of the times it was really cool to be able to hear the corrections from the French and get the proper meaning and the proper pronunciation of certain words, which was really cool. So really, like, the energy when we stepped into that place was really a nervous thing. I think people were really nervous because nobody's really done callbacks like this, or actually go-sees like this. And it was just straight to business, guys. There was no walking. There was no standing on stage presenting your name. None of that stuff went on. It was straight up, just go sit and meet with the agents. I felt really good. The models that I did take felt pretty good. And, I like to talk about this because I'm going to start talking through how confidence plays a big role in how you present yourself to an agency and how they are perceiving you. It's really a big deal, because I like to go in there and tell you that it's not about the look and just your looks only. It's about the confidence that you display in front of the agency. And it's kind of a silent silent confidence, if you will. It's not like something that's just boasted. It's not bragging. It's not being cocky or arrogant or stuck up or anything like that. It is about confidence and knowing that you can go in there and own the presence, not only with your beauty, but a mental state within your confidence that you bring to the table. That's primarily what they're looking for, is that confidence. You could be that 9 or 10, but if you don't have that confidence going in, it's going to make it very difficult for you to have that connection with anybody that you meet. So you're going to have to go in there with a full-blown confidence that shows that you can get it and shows that you own it. That's the big thing about modeling. That's the thing that you fight. You don't fight everybody else in the room. You're not fighting the other models. You're not fighting the other talent in the room. It's not a competition with them. It's a competition within your head and the way that you present yourself to the people that you're presenting. So they're looking for that moment that you can shine, really. Okay. So like I told my models, I said, look, it's not, they know who are you? What's your name? That's what I mean. Who are you? But who are you? What are you giving them? What do they have to, what do you have to offer them other than your looks? Because at the same time, if you have 3 or 4 of you that look the same and you've got good skin, you've got good height, you've got good measurements, you got all this stuff and all these physical characteristics, what are you bringing them to the table to make yourself stand out other than your looks? That is what's going to set you apart. And that's what's going to land you the gigs. That's what's going to land you the placements. That's going to land you a whole bunch of things. So if you go in there insecure, it shows. Like, they can see that. It's written all over your face. If you have in there and if you had a bad day, a bad morning, a bad moment, you need to wipe that clean off the slate so you can go in there and take charge and own it. And I tell you what, in Paris, I didn't just see beauty. I saw belief. It's the kind of belief that can walk into a room and shift the air. And I felt that. Like, there was some models in there that went in there and they just owned it. They went in there and popped it off. They sat down, talked to the agencies, and you could tell the confidence was there in the smile and the way they were interacting with the agent. They were engaging in conversation and even starting conversation. Now, I didn't sit in there that whole time because they wouldn't allow it, but I'd go in there and I'd peek, and then you can see the models that were insecure and the ones that were really beautiful. And I'm thinking to myself, why? Why are you so insecure? What self-doubt do you have in your mind that thinks that you can't be a part of that organization? Because you were invited at this place. And if you get invited to something like this, yes, it's going to cost you money to go to any kind of convention like this. And I truly, truly, truly believe in them. I think that everybody needs to go, because not only are you going to be networking, you're going to be getting in front of people. You're going to be seeing other models. You're going to get it and kind of see what avenues you need to work on, or what kind of things that you need to work on so you can get the best opportunity for yourself. Okay, so let's break down the difference between confidence and cockiness or arrogance, right? So breaking down the difference, I'm going to break down that difference for you. So basically, the real confidence is going to be silent. It's how you walk, it's how you talk, it's how you listen, it's how you present yourself in front of others. If you're going in there with your shoulders back and your head high, your eyes wide open, a little bit of a smile on your face with a little bit of attitude, not in a bad attitude, but just kind of a lean, mean walk that people can see it. It kind of like makes the air shift in the room. It makes the C's part. It makes the other models pop because they see that. It's like being an alpha in the room. Like if you've got 130 people, say like that, and then also you're going in there to any other thing, like if you're going to a casting call even, that air is going to part. The people are going to part because they're going to be like, dang, who is this? That's the confidence that I'm saying. Now, arrogant. Okay, so now if you're doing something like an arrogance, or you're being a little too arrogant or cocky, that's just talking. That's talking the talk to me. Talking the talk, going in there saying, well, I just know I can do the best in this group because I look the best. I'm the tallest. I'm the prettiest. I got the unique features. I've got the gap between my teeth. I got a whatever on my face that looks really cool. My cheekbones pop just a little bit more. You can't have that attitude like that because that's noticeable. They're going to notice that on you and they're going to be like, oh my God, who is this person? I don't want to work with that. you have to, there's like almost a humility that comes with it in that confidence. When you're building that confidence, there's almost like a humility when you're building that confidence. You have to display yourself in a manner to where it's like, okay, it's humbling. People notice me. I'm bringing a look. I'm bringing a flavor. I like that. I'm putting a little salt and pepper on the attitude. It's a little seasoned. It's workable. It's approachable. Those are things that kind of break those differences down when it comes down to it. Because at the end of the day, it's not something that you are going to be that you're born with. It's a presence that you have to learn. It's an acquired taste, kind of like caviar. I can't eat caviar, but it's kind of like that. You got to have that kind of mentality going into the game. And that's super, super important when you're modeling. Okay, so at the end of the day, the confidence is going to be built by doing what scares you. Are you scared? Are you nervous? Use that as fuel to that fire to bring that confidence out. You have to practice. You have to get in front of other people. You got to get in front of your family members. You got to get in front of other models, just friends, and practice that confidence. Get in there and fight for it. Learn how to be approachable. Learn how to talk to people. Learn how to hold your head high. Kick your shoulders back. Walk into the room like I don't give a dang. That's what you got to do. That's bringing out the real confidence in you. Okay, I really want you to, before we continue to this, I want to make sure that you like and subscribe. Please comment about confidence. Some of the things that you've experienced about your confidence, or have you seen some people that have been arrogant or over rambunctious with their attitude? I want to hear about it. Please put it in the comments, like and share this, subscribe to us again on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and iHeartRadio, guys. Guys, I'm getting over 75,000 views a month on our Spotify and our Apple channel. Guys, I want to also congratulate my team, my producers. Thank you for this. The audience, the fans, everybody. We have now hit number 5 in the United States as one of the top brands and niches in the beauty and fashion lane on. Guys, I just want to say thank you for my fans, because I couldn't have done this without you, because right now we're at number 5 on the charts for Apple in the fashion and beauty section. That means the show's getting popular, and I really like that, because you guys are sharing it. You're liking, you're downloading the videos and taking everything that you can off this videos that you can learn. Please share it. Please like it. Again, I also want to thank my producer, Mr. Dan Gilman. I want to thank Miss Isa. I want to thank Miss Desiree. Those are my other 2 producers that we've got, and they have been just doing a killer job putting our shows together, making sure that we're getting the likes that we need, and making sure that people are following our channels. And it's been a super huge help. Thank you. How do models show confidence? Okay. Again, I kind of repeat this as maybe an on repeat session thing, but it's about your posture. It's about your eye contact. It's about your grace under pressure. What I mean by grace under pressure, that means how are you holding yourself? How are you standing in front of there under the pressure? Even when there's pressure, even though there's other models and it comes down, they break it down, and you've been selected, 3 models have been selected out of the 15, and you're one of them. How are you holding that pressure up? Are you still staying confident? Are you getting in your head? Are you breaking down and crumbling when the pressure comes? Because that's going to stop you from getting everything that you want in this business. Basically, I'm going to talk about watching models and casting and what agents actually are looking for. Okay, because when you talk about this for a second, I mean, I'm thinking about it like this, because they're looking for that confidence. Not only the first thing, obviously, is going to be your beauty, your height, your measurements. The second thing is going to be that stuff, what you're doing. Well, I'm talking about your posture, your eye contact, and the grace under pressure, like I said, because those are huge factors that they're looking at on how you're handling that. Because when they sign you, they're saying, okay, I'm going to have an agreement between you and me, because you're going to be on our agency and you're going to be on my board, whether it's the women's board, it's the new faces board, the commercial board, or whatever board the men's board, whatever you want to say. If you have that confidence, they're putting you on that board and saying, hey, Mr. Client, These are the models that I have for you. These are the models that I think that'll work best for your brand. If you can't display that confidence in front of them, then there's going to be problems. Why is that? Because really there's not even a problem, because you're not even going to have to worry about the problem because you're not signed. What are you going to do to get signed? That's what you have to do. Your agents, your mother agents, your managers, none of those people can walk in that room with you. They've opened that door for you. They put you in a position to where you can shine like that. It's up to you if you're going to go get that, if you're going to make that happen and make sure that you get the golden ticket. Walking the runway, rocking Prada, walking Balenciaga, walking for Gucci, doing a Gucci campaign, getting in the magazine spread, getting the ebook. Getting the e-commerce look. Are you going to be going to the showroom fittings are you going to be the one that's going to the showroom fittings for the designer? Are you going to be cast for that? And that's a whole nother topic right there. And I'm going to get deep into that one because you guys need to learn. You're going to learn today. You're going to learn. So let's talk about that second look. So they're going to take a second look at you, maybe a couple of times, because they're going to like, wow, are we really seeing what we're seeing? It could go either good or bad. Can it go, whether in a good way is when they're like, wow, are you blown away? Are they blown away by your presence? Are they blown away by your presence? Are they blown away by your presence, or are they just looking at you like, oh God, whatever. Okay, we'll see you later. They're looking for some excitement, something exciting. Something that somebody can be like, oh my God, I gotta have her right now or him right now. That's what you're looking for. The looks can be one thing. That's what's going to get you in there. But that other, to me, it's 60, 75, 80, maybe even 80% is your attitude, your confidence. You're going to have to be the one that builds that up. You're not the one that gets in the mirror and look at yourself every day in the mirror and say, hey, what am I going to do to make myself confident today? Bring that first impression so they can give you that second look and give you that second feedback to where you get the results that you're looking for. That's the thing that they're looking for. Okay, so really some of the Paris takeaways that I got out of this is, for me as an agent, I want to be more mindful of the people that I bring, that they're able to, carry a little bit more confidence, and maybe find some ways to train people on confidence and help them out in those manners so they get the best results that they possibly can. I'm not saying that it's all on any agent out there, because it's not, because realistically, the contracts are read 80-20. And so that means your agent does 20% of the work and then you do 80%. But a lot of times everybody expects your agent to do 80% of the work and you only do 20%. And then you put the blame on your agent when it doesn't happen. And that's not fair, is it? Tell me if I'm wrong. Okay. Now, I challenged myself and said, hey, I want to find some ways that I can make it better for my people and have patience to where they can grow into their confidence, because it does take time. You can't catch it overnight in most cases. Some of you will catch it faster than others, but you're not in comparison with other people, are you? You're in comparison with yourself. And those are things that you're going to have to really focus on, because it's just a part of the business. Going to castings and doing all these things, and you're going to have to learn how to get that first look first, that first impression, and then also get that second look and make them say, wow. Okay. Now, for the models that went with me, or the models that have gone and watched this, take away some things on this, because a lot of times, with that confidence comes also your portfolio, because some of you just did 1 or 2 shoots and it's not enough. You're going to have to get out there and work the shoots. You're going to have to work with the photographers and work with the people that get with you to help build your book and build your presence and build your brand. Those are the things that you're going to have to take away. Okay, guys, you may not have had the best portfolio. And sometimes if you have 1 or 2 shoots, your confidence can overtake that, and they can work with you, because a lot of the agents, they're going to develop you and put your books together anyways. It's all about your movement, and your confidence not only shows when you walk into a room, it shows in your portfolio. It's a whole nother chapter that we could go into. Your portfolio is key, that's part of your confidence. Are you showing confidence in your book? How are you showing your face? How are you showing your eyes? How are you showing your posture? Are you taking advantage of that? That's going to help build that confidence. So that confidence that you bring to it should also reflect in your book, and it should also reflect on your comp cards. Those are things that you have to tie in together. It's all cohesive. It's all a balance. You got to balance it all out. Can it be done in 3 months? No. I mean, sometimes it can. Depends on who you are and what kind of person you have. Can you bring that impression? That's what it's all about. And I want you listeners to understand this key point too, because confidence is always quiet. It's a quiet resilience. Being rejected, not only just getting rejected, because you're going to have rejection. I had a model that I sent to Milan and got rejected 18 times before she even, got a show. Are you resilient? Can you hit one? Are you going to hit one casting? Are you going to crumble because they told you no? Because it'll eat you up. It'll tear you apart. That is not the direction that you should be going. If you get blown up, put down because of one casting and you're out, you might as well just hang up the heels. You might as well put away the pants. You might as well hang up your digitals and burn them. That's not what you're looking for. You're going to have to dig something deeper in there and get back in there and dig, right? You can do it. You can do it. And I'm talking to some of the models that have been with me before. You remember me. I know you. Get out there and fight for it. Still love you. Get out there and fight for it. Do what you've done. Do what you've been trained. Make it happen. You got to know that you're in the right place, because I tell you what, Paris did change me. It changed me a lot. It reminded me I am in the right room, and so are you. You are. That just gave me goosebumps. Woo. So, confidence reps. This is your weekly challenge. I want to challenge you and make you guys go in there and do this specific things. I want you to record yourself walking into a room like it's a casting. That's number 1. Okay. Number 2, I want you to practice saying something that you've been afraid to say. Okay. Don't be afraid to give something personal about you, because that's what they're looking for, real people. These guys aren't nothing special. They put on their underwear just like you. And I totally get it. You get scared because this person, they have clients with Gucci, Gap, Guess, Prada, Balenciaga. Those are things that you're going to have to learn how to fight, guys. Put yourself in the mirror. Put yourself in the recording. Do the recording, and you're going to go back and you're going to play it and look at yourself. Do you display confidence? Matter of fact, give it to somebody else and let them tell me, how did you feel about my walk-in? That's how you practice and gain it. Okay. Stay in front of that mirror and list 3 wins from their week. Stand in front of the mirror, and I want you to talk about 3 wins that you did for the week. And then also talk about 3 failures that you had for the week. That's going to help build your confidence and put that in your head that everybody fails. If I had to put out there how many times I failed, guys, it would make you crumble. If I had to tell you how many times I've been rejected, or I've been around people that have been rejected, or have gotten word that people have gotten rejected, most of you would crumble. Most of you would fall into a depression. Most of you would fall into a lack of sleep. A lot of you would start getting really vulnerable because you wouldn't be able to handle somebody telling you some kind of critique or criticism. That's hard. That's the part that you've got to overcome. And it's something that takes practice, guys. It really does. It takes a lot of practice. So I want you guys to know that you are more than enough. Now go prove it to yourself first, okay? The world will catch up with you. Okay, so I've got some really good guests coming on right now. So on the 14th of June, I got Dr. Yasmin Saad actually coming onto the show. She is a top 3. I didn't say that. I didn't say this for a reason, but she's the top 3 clinical psychologist. Okay, guys, I really wanted to talk about what's coming up. June 14th, I've got Dr. Yasmin Saad from New York City. She's a clinical psychologist, guys, and she's been everywhere. She's been on CNN. She's been on all these neat programs. She shared the stage with several different people on stage that have been extremely successful, guys, in the psychological world. And she's going to talk about getting into your mind and kind of resetting yourself and finding triggers that trigger you to get you out of your head. And I'm looking forward to that episode, guys. Okay, guys, I want you to please like and subscribe to our channel, Spotify, YouTube, Apple, iHeartRadio. And you guys just need to go in there and comment and like and share, more importantly. And thank you guys for the top 5 on Apple. This was absolutely a huge win for my team, and it's all because of you guys. And we just want to thank you guys. Again, this has been the Model Way Podcast, where we inspire, we motivate, and we teach both new and seasoned models. My name is Lenny Wheeler, and I'm your host. And until next time, hasta la vista.